Hello and welcome back to the technical guide to Factorio. Woo! So good. Okay. So this time we get laser turrets all researched up and we actually build a production center for laser turrets. It's the best. So we also put a few of those into position, which you can see working up there, and that is actually quite a ridiculously large attack. Maybe we should go assist these laser turrets. Hey! Hey, buzz off! Biters, get out of here. Get out. Go. My word, that was quite an attack. We're gonna need to put more defenses up there. Anyway, we work on putting together our laser manufacturing area, which is working out pretty well so far. We also work on getting new systems for our power. We've got some new power poles, as well as manufacturing electrical accumulators that will help us with managing the power that is used by our laser turrets. We also set up another oil refinery to eventually produce plastics. But let's get right into it and start producing these wonderful things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is actually work on getting the area that we're going to produce laser turrets all set up. So I think probably a good area to produce them could be down here or up in this area. So let's consider that. We need to have our batteries move into the area. So our batteries are over here. If we actually look at what laser turrets will ultimately need, we can see that they need steel, electronic circuits, and batteries. So it doesn't seem too hard to just pull everything up this way, which is probably what we'll do. So first off, we need to throw some fuel out into here, which will require us getting some actual fuel. And we'll pull the steel line out up there. And then, after that, we can work on pulling the circuits out there, which we already have the circuits decently close. We have them coming up here right now, so we can pull them. Yeah, we can totally pull them off the line and pull them up here. Maybe. That's a bit complex. Actually, I think we'll build it down here. Because down here, we already have steel here, which we can move out this way. And we have our electronic circuits right here that can easily be picked off. So all we really need to move is batteries. So the less things that we have to move, the easier it's going to be. And I like things being slightly easier. So here we go. We're going to pull our conveyor belt down over yonder. And to do that, how are we going to run it down? We can probably run it down along here. That shouldn't be too hard. Okay, we'll do that. So we're going to have the conveyor belt come around this way, go underground, and we're going to have a ton of underground belts running right along this little strip here. We'll have to take out a couple of the light poles, most likely. Those dudes got wrecked like nobody's business because they're disgusting. And then that should work out pretty well, actually. So it's going to come right down here. Oh, we don't quite have enough. Okay, burn in a pit. Why don't you, conveyor belts? We don't need you. We can do this all on our own. We could technically just move all of this stuff all by ourselves. Wouldn't that be amazing? Instead of doing automation, we instead just decide, heck with automation. We're just going to do it all ourselves. That would not be amazing. Don't do that. Never do that. That sounds disgusting. If you're ever thinking of doing that, go burn in a pit, kid. Who do you think you are? You think you're some sort of Superman? You're no Superman. You're just a mere mortal. You can't possibly do all that a good factory could possibly do. It is beyond human comprehension how powerful these factories can become. My word. Okay. So this is going to run down here. And actually, did we just produce a bunch of wooden chests? Why did we produce a bunch of wooden chests? I have no clue, but I'm confused. Slightly concerned, too. Okay, I accidentally just made an iron chest. Apparently, I've decided that instead of getting conveyor belts, we actually need a bunch of chests, which we totally don't need. There's no reason we would need that. That's disgusting. I can't even imagine why we would need that. But, you know, we got it anyway. I guess that's a good thing. We can just go with that. Okay, we'll get laser turrets to start researching. And we can have a long-armed inserter. Grab stuff like that. It'll pull it right across these 2 conveyor belts out onto here. And then we just need to deal with getting our steel out here, which shouldn't be too hard. We really don't need any more steel furnaces. We can stop this thing and probably get that pudding back onto the conveyor belt. So what we're gonna do is actually, hey, hold up. Is this thing not actually putting any steel onto a conveyor belt? Oh, that's grotesque. Who said that this thing didn't need to produce anything? That's terrible. Look, there we go. Now we'll produce even more iron, but that wasn't really the goal. We can pretty much take out this stone brick line here. We won't really need it again. We're gonna have more than enough steel furnaces up until the point that, of course, steel furnaces are no longer useful to us, which should be relatively quickly now that we're getting so technologically advanced. Ooh, look at us, technology, so much of it. So we'll put the long arm inserter here instead, and we can just pick off of these particular little lines, and that should be our nice production line for a bunch of laser turrets. And everyone loves laser turrets, except for biters, because biters don't love laser turrets. But that's also because they're disgusting biters, and nobody really cares about disgusting biters. They're vicious and terrible creatures. And if they died today, I would not shed a single tear. Okay, so as soon as we get laser turrets done, we'll be able to turn that on to producing laser turrets, and that should be great. But now, oh my word, you're really fighting it out over there, aren't you? Anyway, but now comes the next question. What do we need to do after that? So we're going to have a pretty big issue once we have completed our laser turrets and set them up. We're going to find that our power production is not sufficient. Not necessarily because we can't produce enough power, but because laser turrets need a different amount of energy when they're sitting still, not shooting, to when they're actually shooting. Pretty much, they draw a constant and actually pretty low amount of power when they're just sitting idle. But as soon as they start shooting, they need to recharge all of their power, and thereby they pull a significantly larger amount of energy out of the system. Steam power can't actually deal with these spikes. And really, neither can solar energy technically, but there is something that can deal with that. And that is called an accumulator. So as soon as I've filled these back up with a nice amount of coal, there we go, we're gonna look at the accumulators. So that should be under, it's not under here, it's under energy accumulation. Basic accumulators, which require batteries and 10 iron plates. What these do is they actually store energy. So any excess energy being produced would go into an accumulator that would then be able to send that power out to the system whenever we needed it, whenever we didn't have enough power to actually run everything. And that is how we're going to actually efficiently power our laser turrets, by working out a nice set of accumulators. But for now, we can't actually build those, because oddly enough, we don't have the research. And actually, to power the accumulators, we'll also have solar panels, because, I mean, I don't want to power it with steam engines. Steam engines are nice and all, but they're not the best. We can do better. So we're going to wait for laser turrets to be completed and then move on with some more technology after that. Okay, so there's laser turrets all researched up. Perfect. We're now going to work our way towards power accumulators. So we're going to work on energy distribution first, which will give us 2 new types of energy poles, which will at some point convert our entire system over to these. And as soon as we get them, we can actually talk about what they do, because one of them is actually a special use pole. But while we're waiting for the electrical distribution, we need to work on yet another thing within the world of oil processing. We need to create plastics, because if we go in here, we have the next level of science pack requires a battery, an advanced circuit, a smart inserter, and a steel plate. And one would ask, how in the world does one build an advanced circuit? We've built all of the other things. Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's what we're doing. The advanced circuits require 2 electronic circuits, 2 plastic bars, and 4 copper cables. And we need to get this plastic all settled out. So in order to build plastic is made out of... Ooh, that was not the right direction. Plastic is made out of... I don't think we actually have the tech for plastic right now. That's the worst. We are so low on techs right now, it's disgusting. Anyway, plastics are made out of petroleum gas and a bit of coal. So what we're going to do is set up another oil refinery to produce even more petroleum gas, because at this point, until we can start cracking this oil down into petroleum gas, we really don't have all that much petroleum coming out of one single oil refinery, which is really not the best. We want a good amount of petroleum coming out at all times. And at some point, we can get the next level of oil refining, which will also produce less of these other less useful oils and more petroleum, which is great. Gotta love that one. But for now, we have to be plebs and work with our disgusting pleb system, which is just normal, disgusting energy oil production, which is not the best. Really not the best. Looks like our labs are working at full efficiency, which is great. We don't have that many, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. We could do worse. We could do a lot worse. I mean, we could be dead, but we're not dead because we're the best. Yeah, that's not why we're not dead. We're not dead because, you know, we have turrets protecting us, and I guess we're absolute cowards and can't be asked to fight without a bunch of turrets, so there you go. There you go. I don't want to fight biters. Do you want to fight biters? Look, they're vicious creatures. I don't want to fight a bunch of biters. That's terrible. That is frightening like nobody's business. Okay. So we're going to have that dude funnel into one side, this one funnel into the other side, and we should be fairly well off. Gonna work out a few more pipes. You know, we could possibly just have this connect up like that and just be a terrible person like that. Just have them both funnel into the same system. There we go. Look at that. Pretty sure there's good reasons why you shouldn't do that, but I can't think of them right now. So we're just going to work that out. And we'll do some basic oil processing. And then we just need enough containers to actually store the jazz that we're making right now. Because until we can actually get plastic research, we won't actually have anything to do with all of these resources, even the petroleum gas. So, I mean, we're just going to have to chill out a bit. Wait it out. Store all of our delicious oils and gases in a variety of different beautiful tanks. A tank that can be yours for as low as $9.99, which doesn't really mean anything because money means nothing here. There we go. So that'll just start storing stuff up for now, for when we actually get the researchers to do plastics, which we don't have yet because we're terrible. So in addition to... Oh, we haven't actually started laser turret production, have we? That's not the best. There we go. Start producing laser turrets. There we go. That's nice. So, in addition to just getting energy distribution, we need the resources to actually build these various energy towers. Wow, these guys are vicious. They actually got around our defenses. How terrible. So, the main energy tower we're going to be producing are copper energy towers, which are the next level of just energy distribution poles. These wooden poles are going to be completely useless to us. That's going to be worth pretty much nothing. So let's get... Should we get energy accumulators or plastics? I think we should get energy accumulators first. That's pretty important. So we're going to get energy accumulators running. And what was I on about previously? Oh yeah, we need to actually build the poles. So these are the next poles, medium electric poles. I tend to refer to them as copper electric poles because, I don't know, they kind of look like copper. So these guys have two big bonuses over these wooden poles. First off, they have a much larger area of energy distribution than a standard wooden pole. Second off, they actually connect a lot longer of a distance away. So two of these poles connect that far, whereas two of our wooden poles connect only that far away. So we've got like a 2-block difference between how far they can connect. And then in addition to these smaller poles, we also have these big electric poles. These guys have terrible energy distribution, but that's not what they're for. These guys connect at that distance. It's huge. These poles are specifically for sending electricity over a long distance. So we're going to be using those once we actually need to build little colonies outside of our main production area. So at some point, probably between now and the next episode, I'll get the system revamped over to these medium electric poles. For now, we've completed our petroleum gas, our heavy light oil is storing up, and I guess we just have to wait for the accumulators. So we'll just chill out, wait for the electric energy accumulators to be completed, and then we will go from there. Okay, so here's our basic energy accumulators research. So we can start building a nice little production line for working that out. I was just setting up another one of these furnaces for the copper line. So we'll just get that all set, and then we can go over there. So these accumulators should not be that hard to build, especially since we've got so much of the infrastructure already set up for their production. All we need is an assembly machine, probably right in this area. It really depends on how it fits in, but we can just do that. Okay, we're gonna have to do a little bit of tricksy maneuvering in order to get this to fully work, but we'll get it working. So what we'll do is we'll have a picker pick something off the line, put it, hey, buzz off. My word. By the way, yeah, I have actually started putting in these sick laser turrets, and that laser turret also just like saved our lives like nobody's business, which is great. So we've got a few laser turrets going in right now, and we'll continue to vamp the system with more and more laser turrets as time goes on. But there we go. This picker is going to put batteries here onto this empty patch of ground, and then this picker will pick them up off that patch of ground and put it into the assembly machine. I know it's a bit of a roundabout system, but someone's got to do it. It has to be done. And then we can just put it right into a chest, and we'll work out placing them in a position later. We'll have a huge grid of a combination of solar panels and energy accumulators that should provide a massive amount of power for our system. But there we go. We've got electrical accumulators running there. And if you noticed, everything started flashing with the energy symbol the moment that those lasers started shooting. That is what I mean by we don't actually have enough power to run these things. Every time that we run our laser turrets, our system is going to flash as though it's out of power. That is until we can actually get our accumulators up, which is why these things are so darn important, so that we're actually running at a decent rate. So there we go. This time we have produced, we should actually start researching right now. What should we research? Plastics? Actually, we should research lab efficiency. And we'll research up to the highest level of lab efficiency we can get while I start working out the power system. This increases the speed at which our laboratories work through science packs, and thereby increases the speed that we research technologies, which is pretty important. So with that, we will come to the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we'll probably start working on building solar panels, getting the research up for that, and then setting up a solar panel system, as well as potentially giving a new look at our defenses and trying to build something a bit more secure than what we have right now. So until then, thanks for watching, and of course, enjoy the rest of your day.